artist?
All right, welcome. Hip Hop High Society presents our interview series. I'm sitting down with the one and only 100GrandRoyce. I'm pleased and thankful that you're sitting down with us today on this interview, brother. For people who don't know, Harlem representative. You feel me? I've been peeping. I'm like one of the Dane Grease people. If you don't know who Dane Grease is, you definitely shouldn't even be on this platform right now, because that should be a legend in the game from DMX to everybody else. So it's definitely an honor to sit down with you, brother. And if people don't know, if not familiar with you, don't know about your background and your music, just tell us a little bit about your background, you know, how you grew up, what influenced your music, stuff like that.
Yeah, I go by the name of 100GrandRoyce. I'm an artist out of Harlem, New York. I came up in the era of the spitters, like, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
All the famous battle rappers in Harlem that you see on TV today. This was the era I came up in. These are the streets I had to walk through and battle through to get my bar up, my pen up. And it's eventually how I got my name up in Harlem. It was a show that used to come on public access every Sunday and Wednesday with some of the best rappers that's out today. I promise you no lie. Mad Cyphers. And I used to go on there week after week and bomb. I kick verses and I link with artists, and that's how I got my pen up.
Or, you know, it's crazy. Like, I used to hear like stories back in the day, like that's a forgotten era, bro, that you just hit on. Like, I remember hearing about how Drag On got on with like the Rough Riders and shit. You had to go through a cipher with Beast,
Yeah.
DMX, and Eve, and then the
Yeah, I
Locks
went
and all
through I
them
went
shit.
through it with Drag On too. Yeah.
So
Facts.
now the cats just make a fucking video, go viral, and get on. So that's
Yeah.
dope, bro.
I came from the era where you know, it was cool to be outside spitting, 6 or 7 people outside in the cypher spitting. And these some of the best artists you ever heard. So you feel me? I always felt compelled to jump in. So any cypher I seen, I jumped in. Like, you know, whether or not I felt like it or not, I was in them ciphers getting my bars off. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I got my pen up.
Exactly. A rite of passage is what I call it, which I think is Skip, but I ain't gonna get too much to my old man ramble. So we hearing your introduction, kind of what put you on as far as that, like any specific artist that you think inspired you, somebody that made you want to rap or want to spit or want to even put yourself out there like that. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely say it's big, some of the big cadences, his flows, the locks. You know, I felt like the locks was talking everything that I was seeing in my neighborhoods growing up. Like, so I felt like they made me feel like I could put my pen to paper like that. Nas storytelling abilities. Like it just that's kind of the artist that formed me to what I am today.
Yeah, definitely, bro. That's a good list to have to be like, bro. So at least to aspire you to get into the game.
Yeah, I was heavy on a mixtape, so you know that's what I used to go through. You know what I'm saying? That's what I pick my bar at. You know, the mixtapes.
Yo, I definitely mixed the mixtape. That's one thing a lot the platform we always talk about. We try to have like a mixtape Tuesday where we highlight like that's such a underrated era, man. And I think we kind of around the same age group, right? So that was kind of like our era right there, like just people that
Definitely.
just did music to do music. And I'm not sure that people even like it. You know, it was no music like I mean, outside of what they was doing in Atlanta with all the mixtaping, and you know, I ain't gonna get into that, all them cases and shit. But like a lot of people was doing music just to do music because they liked it. They liked to spit. Like I grew up in an era where like you at a party, motherfucker just get a cipher going. You feel me?
Yeah, that's what I'm from. That's what I'm from. You know,
Yeah.
instrumental CDs, 40 instrumentals on a CD, and I try to write to every single one of them shits. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I come from. Man.
Word. If you wasn't nice, you might well just sit in the corner, bro. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
This ain't for you. This ain't for you.
Yeah, definitely. Now, like talk about the collaboration with the legendary. I'm saying legendary Dane Grease.
hmm
I know we got the series of tapes that you got, albums, I should say, that you have. What brought that about, man? What introduced that collaboration right there?
Grease was working with people in the hood, you know, as long as I can remember. I used to go up to Vacant Lot Studios, you know, far back as 2008, 2009, you know, when Max and French Montana used to come through and do records. You know, I was a studio rat. I'd just be in there soaking up game, listening to beats, trying to get a verse on here or there, you know, falling asleep in the studio, waking up, you know what I'm saying, trying to see if I could get my work in, you know. And, you know, Grease noticed that work ethic, you know what I'm saying? So as time progressed, you know, I was getting my weight up, dropping music, you know, making my name out there, and it just so happened that this artist that I work with, his name is El Camino. He was looking for beats from Dame Grease, right? So I hit Grease up. We still stay in contact. I'm like, yo, Grease, da 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 da. Play the middle for him. But in the meantime, in between time, it's like, yo, it's time. Like, what I'm saying? My weight is up. It's time. And he felt the same way. So he like, yeah, yeah. In the meantime, I'm gonna take care of that. But it's time for me and you to get working. And that's all I was waiting for.
Word,
As soon as we start getting production, and I couldn't wait. Like this was my moment. So, I tried to take it as far as I could. From the first record on. And that first record, I'm just trying to get my first impression in because this is our first project. So that first record, my Just Do, we went shot the video to it. We got it on Hot 97. We got it on Shade 45. That record just went crazy. Like streams went crazy. So from then on, it's like, all right, we locked in. Let's get it. Like, just keep working from there. He told me a minute ago, he like, yo, all you gotta do is give me the music and I'm gonna make it a hit. Like, what his resume is, and he really into music like that. He's a musical genius, in my opinion. So it was
word,
nothing to it, send him pieces in and I'm gonna knock them off. Like, everything we recorded is out on streaming. Every single song we recorded, we ain't throw nothing away. Everything we did is out. So that just go to
word.
show you the chemistry that we got.
Word. And the work ethic, honestly, man, there's so many people that don't put in that work like that, which I'm gonna hit on a little bit later, but that's dope in itself. And shout out to Dane, man, is tapped into the streets, man. I fucks with
Sir.
that. You know what I'm
Shout out to the
saying?
Boom Boss. Yes, sir. You tapped
Yes.
in.
Now I did peep one of your earlier interviews, probably from about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. The We Going In joint.
Mm-hmm.
One of the interesting things I heard up on there is you talking about having like one producer for the entire project. And I heard Dr. Dre say something on the interview with Snoop with that project they recently released. And they talk about having, one producer for the whole pro, which you don't see a lot. Sometimes you see a smorgasbord of shit, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What do you still think that holds true? Do you think projects are better when you have like one producer? I know Alchemist too is producing a lot of shit, one
Mm-hmm.
producer type of shit. So how do you feel about that? That's still kind of your case, or do you think it's better to have multiple producers? You switched it up a little bit.
I kind of feel like I ain't gonna lie. I kind of feel like in this new underground renaissance we got going on, I kind of was one of the pioneers to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was doing that
Mm,
a long time ago. I feel like I'm an artist. I'm a body of work artist. So you listen to any project of mine, it's gonna be a solid body of work. And I feel like any producer I work with, I want the most cohesion possible. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. We locked in on a sound. A place we taking an album. And what we trying to do in the game. I don't want to bring in too many voices, too many chefs in the kitchen for that. It's gonna be
word.
me and the producer. We gonna lock in, and it's gonna sound like it. You gonna hear like when we drop projects. Any producer I work with, when we drop projects, you gonna hear how they mental was versus how my mental was, and that's why I do those projects like that. Like it's full cohesion.
Hmm. I feel like that's kind of the difference between maybe a mixtape and an actual completed project, right? Mixtape, I think you more so got that smorgasbord, that variety of shit, right? You just throwing beats on there. Whereas if you have like a body of work, like an album, I think it's better when that's one producer because you can kind of create a story. You know what I mean? I think a
Definitely.
lot of that is missing when you can create a narrative, create a story, create a feeling. Because like with the Fix joint, I feel the soul samples. I feel a lot is more the passion in the music, you feel me?
Hmm.
As opposed to like a mixtape, we just trying to get bars off, you feel me? Or something like that, get
Exactly.
punchlines off.
And I ain't gonna lie, like I'm a life rapper as it is, like you know what I'm saying. So
Mm-hmm.
even when I'm looking for music to record on, I'm looking for something I can tell my story on, like you know what I'm saying. If I'm
Yeah.
if I'm going to just be spitting, I do that on instrumentals. But when I get ready to give you a project, I'm looking for a project for my sound to tell my life on and what I may have been going through that time, like you know what I'm saying. Good, bad,
Mm-hmm.
ugly, and different, but you gonna get the life out of me, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. That's dope, man. Um, Kind of switch it up a little bit, man. I want to talk about because I peeped social media a little bit. I seen you kind of commenting on the Def Jam kind of. I'm gonna call it a fall off, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. We
Hmm.
see they threw LiAngelo Ball the bag for 8 million, I believe it is. Granted, there's some incentives in there. Nine times out of 10, you don't get what they say they're gonna give you. But just in general, we seeing a lot of people who maybe got viral off, some nonsense, some shit that went viral on TikTok or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of the latest, I think. I mean, do they even have A&Rs anymore? But what's your opinion on the current state of, like, you know, the house that LL and Run DMC and shit built, like Def Jam? How do you feel
Man,
about that?
it's crazy. It just seems like they going for, the quick fix. It's a couple
Mhm.
artists that I fuck with that's on Def Jam and all that, but it's not the same as like the Month of the Man when it was Method Man and Redman, or the Hard Knock Life Tour, DMX, Hove, you know what I'm saying? All of them together. Like, it's not like that, and that feeling is not there. Like, I don't know. Maybe they ain't had leech on to the right artist yet or what, but the virality, it don't last too long. It's gonna be here today and going tomorrow. Like, you feel me? Nobody
Right.
even know the second verse of that Jello song. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Word,
You feel
word.
me?
I
That's
could
that's
say.
really that's how I feel it is in a nutshell. Like, you feel me? Like, if you could, I ain't gonna lie, it's a business. You throw the bag to get the bag, but they don't know the second verse of the song, so I don't know if that investment is the best well made to make. You feel me? I'm an artist
Mm,
that's built on growing and standing. Like, you feel me? Standing through the
word.
test of time, having longevity. So that's what I would look for in a label. Like, that's what I would expect a label to look for, an artist that you could build with. I mean, you put LL on, like, and he's the bearer of longevity. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I
Facts.
don't know how you get away from that. You feel me? But until they get the right people in them offices, that's what we could expect. But
Yeah.
over here on all hundos, we putting out that longevity, that good shit. That good
Facts.
this that soul food over here. Like, we ain't giving you hot pockets.
That fast food, you feel
Yeah,
me?
ain't no fast food over here.
Yeah, that longevity is a thing too, man. If you putting out music that you actually feel that you actually are proud to make and not just chasing the bag, you can tell 5, 10 years from now, people ain't gonna be bumping that shit. You feel me?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Every genre got a young MC, you know what I'm saying? But
All right.
you feel me? We can't base the culture on that. Like, you feel me? You gotta put pause, you gotta have meat on the bones too. Like, it can't be all flashy and shiny and, you feel me, no substance.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of this, I think, with diving into kind of the recent news, a lot of things we seeing right now, like let's for instance with that Drake lawsuit, right?
Hmm.
Where he actually kind of exposing himself, to be honest with you. But a lot of that you can see, and as somebody on like been doing this little platform for a minute, I hear a lot of independent artist music, right? I've
Hmm.
heard multiple songs that honestly could be a hit. If the right person jumped on the track, if they even honestly promoted they shit, right.
Hmm.
So let me ask you this: do you feel as though like the machine is purposely pushing out, keeping certain artists out, or even in your success, could it be based on just being part of the machine or the machine picking you? You feel me?
Nah, it's not. I don't think it's that. It's capitalism at the end of the day. Like, you feel me? It's pay to play. Like, if you
Right.
don't got the money to play, you don't got the investors to play in the game. You got to play on the level you at. Like, you feel me?
Yeah.
Everybody don't got. Everybody might have a hit song. Like, everybody that do music might have a hit song on their hard drive right now. But not everybody got 150,000 at the moment to go push that shit to the right people. And this is not
Right.
the time. This is not the time anymore where it's like, oh, I believe in you. Let's take it to the top. Nah, it's nowadays is, yo, can I get this bag off you real quick? And then maybe we could do something. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? So until you able to navigate the ways to get money in this industry and being able to outsource, you feel me? You can't blame the label. The label got the resources. You gotta be able to be, you gotta be able to move nifty enough and able to get to where you need to be or work that hard. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's a part of having a team. What you said, because it might be certain things. You might just be a creative person, and you just might be a creative. That's your thing. But if you can't market yourself properly, then you got to get a team. You got to get people that helps. If you're really serious, I think about that. If you're trying to make that a full-time business or whatever, you know what I'm saying. Um, and I think the trench work, I think that's a
Definitely.
unheralded part of it. You got to put that trench work in. I think that's kind of funny. You got a song on the tape Out of the Trenches. Um, so I want to hear your thoughts on people not sticking to the music or whatever because their shit don't automatically pop off. I don't think people realize that this is a long game. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have a team and you got to have that grind. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you think about like people who automatically quit the game or don't You know what I'm saying? Like that flash in the pan thing. Like, what's your thoughts on longevity as it applies to putting in that work? You feel me?
I feel like if you quit the game, you should. More power to you, and thank you. Get out the way for people like me. Get out the way. I do this shit rain, sleet, snow, hell. Like, you feel me? If you don't got it in you, and that's I ain't gonna lie, it's mad rappers I came across, like just in my own journey, like that got it, but that couldn't do it because they don't got the fortitude in them to keep going. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if you
Mhm.
quit, I appreciate you quitting and getting out the game. You making room for somebody that really want this shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Big old
I do
fact.
research. I study this shit. You know what I'm saying? I learn different techniques to keep me above water. I put my work in. Like, you feel me? It's not all just music and videos. I gotta learn how to put that shit. I gotta learn how to market, learn how to run ads. I gotta learn all that shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just to keep up. And then when I decide to spend my money, at least I know I'm spending my money on somebody that know what they doing. You feel me? So if you don't know what you're doing, you can't even hire somebody to know what they doing because you can't police them. You know what I'm saying? So this shit is really work. You gotta put that work in. So if you quit, that means you solid enough to know that you don't have it in you to put the work in that niggas that actually get somewhere do. And that's how I
Facts.
feel about that. So more power to. If you don't feel you got it in you, please step away. I know a couple niggas that got it that need the
Facts.
slot, that need the attention. You feel me?
Facts. Then the herd, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Even on this media game, even on this podcast side, bro, like it's
Exactly.
billions of podcasts, right? They say the most of them don't let go past 7 episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, even with the media shit, I've been this second iteration of Hip Hop High Society. We've been doing it about a year. I learned from the first time. I tried to do this again, like 3-4 years ago, but it was just me hiring freelance writers to do interviews and do written materials and shit like that. Burnt myself out. You feel me? So I
Mm-hmm.
came back second time with a team, and it's like, yo, we got a goal for year 1, year 2, year 3. I think
Mm-hmm.
artists too, it would behoove them to do some shit like that. Have you a goal that you want to hit for the year 1, year 2, year 3, but the shit might not automatically pop, bro. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta take it. But
Definitely.
if you ain't built for it, get the fuck out of the way. You feel me?
Definitely, definitely. And your team is your team. Like your team might be one person. Your team might be your wife. Your team might be your son, your daughter.
Facts.
Like you feel me? Just take your team and go to the top with it. You don't need 100 people if 2 people could do the job better than 10. You know what I'm saying?
Big old fact, bro. All right, let's take it back a little bit. Let's go to Harlem, right? Let's take it to Harlem. I know you've seen the viral shit that's been popping off, man. Jim Jones and Camron at it
Mm-hmm.
again. What are your thoughts on that whole thing, bro?
Yo, I hate to see it. I hate to see it. You feel me? Like, you feel me? I done came across Jim Wild times in Harlem. I done came across Ken. I done met Ken Mad times. Like, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And both of them is cool. Like, so you would hate to see them go through it. At the same time, like this is a generation or two before me. Like, you feel me? I wasn't even nice when I was listening to them. You feel me?
Right.
So that's like your parents going through a divorce. You hate that they going through it,
Facts.
but you ain't supposed to be in their business like that. Like, you feel me? Like, you feel me? I'm not qualified to speak on their relationship. These are two icons in Harlem. You feel me? That touched the people that was around. I hate it though. I hate it though. Like, you feel me? That shit is trash. You feel me?
Mm,
Especially the fact that it's in the public. You feel me?
exactly.
That's your man. You ain't supposed to be beefing with your man in the public eye, unless all that shit is a facade and they helping Jim get lit. That's one thing. But if that ain't the case, I don't want to see that shit, man. I don't want to see that shit.
Which I mean, it could be the case. I did see it release a couple songs. Like it was quick
Yeah,
that
he
turnaround
been
for
going up.
songs and projects. You know what I'm saying? That was a quick turnaround. So
Yeah, Jim been going up. So if that's the case, then you feel me? That's a marketing genius between them. But if it's not, I hate to see it.
yeah, hate to see it. Hate to see it. I particularly been like the gym from not being from Harlem. Now, granted, I'm outside. I'm from originally from Chicago, so I'm an outsider looking in. But I didn't like the not from Harlem talk because as a person from my city, Chicago, I hear a lot about like for instance, Lucas. Lucas was born in Illinois, born in
Mhm.
Chicago. Grew up there, but nobody associate him with Chicago. He grew, you know what I mean? You stepped off the stoop in Atlanta. That's where you from,
Yeah.
right?
At the same time, too, not to cut you off, the Harlem and the Bronx is so close. Like you could literally walk from one side to another.
Mm,
Like, you feel me? You could, if you're not from there, you'll be walking from Harlem. You'll be in the Bronx, and you don't feel like you walked long enough to be in the Bronx. Like that's how close that shit is. So, you feel me?
Yeah.
I ain't tripping off that shit. That shit is too close. Now, if he would have been like, yo, you from Brooklyn? That's different. That's an hour and a half train ride, $30 cab. No, the Bronx is fucking footsteps away. So, you feel me? I ain't tripping off that shit.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't like that part of it, but there is a stigma. I will say this, brother, because I heard another somebody else talk about this about the stigma about Harlem, right? It's always going back to the Rich Porter shit. It's always like the stigma that Harlem dudes kind of turn on each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, is
Hmm.
there any truth to that? You feel me? Is there
Yeah,
any truth to the
absolutely. Harlem is
competition?
one of the most grimiest boroughs of all time. Like, don't get it fucked up. Grimy shit been happening. Shit, I went through grimy shit in Harlem. Like, Harlem is a grimy borough. Yeah, we get fly with your money, but it's also super competitive and super grimy. You got to keep your head on a swivel too. It's not a game.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Like I said, Chicago, man, same thing, bro. You might be good on one side of the city, you're not good on another side. Anybody that says they run Chicago lying out their ass, right?
I feel
I
you.
think it's the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like this, at the end of the day, people, the wolves gonna eat, bro. Um,
Facts.
Now, kind of going back to your projects, man, the Fix Two. I think that was the latest one you got out, right? Or did
Yes,
you have
sir. Yes,
anything after
sir.
that? How your creative process? I want to know how your creative process works. We kind of spoke on kind of the soulful feeling I get at least from the project.
Mm-hmm.
How did you go about? How did your pen game work when it's coming to writing a certain beats and stuff like that? And basically, what was your motivation behind that project?
Well, my motivation behind that project was well, me and Grease, it was like, all right, me and Grease gave him a little sample, a little teaser with the Fix One, right? So the Fix
Mhm.
Two, I set out to give them the project that I wanted to do with Grease, like, you know what I'm saying? And it really started with a couple beats that like I wanted to talk my life on, like some soul project. It was one like
Mm,
it was Dust. Um I think it was One of a Kind. It was a couple joints that he sent me and I just locked in immediately. I was trying to get him back to him that day, and I was locking in immediately. You know, and once
mm,
we got into a run, we slowed it down, and then it was like, "Yo, we're gonna get a little more musical on this." So we start breaking down the beats, and rewriting, going back to the studio. He touching up stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just writing. He wanted to have a whole different Grease is musical. He got like five different personalities when it comes to this music shit. Like you could tell. So he was giving me all of the personalities. Like, yeah, see if you could rap on this bounce. Like, I got this bounce, this some wave shit. You know what I'm saying? He giving me
mm,
ideas and I'm like, bet. And I'm going to write to him. I'm locking in immediately, like until we felt like we had a project done. Every beat he sent, we did, like, you know what I'm saying? And he was impressed. And the fact that I was impressing somebody that I looked up to, you feel me? It just kept me feeling, just kept me wanting to write. I was trying to write every day. You know, a
word.
bar here, four bars here, a song here. And everything I did, I was recording, like, you know what I'm saying? He worked with everybody I ever looked up to. So, you know what I'm saying? I had to impress him. If he ain't say it was good, then it wasn't good. So I just had to lock in. Like, it was that type of deal. Like, it was some pressure, but it was also me wanting to tell my story and me wanting to step outside. Like, yeah, I'm here now.
Facts, bro. Facts. I think the pen game still to this day is an underrated part of the process. I think the notepad, no pen era kind of, you know,
Yeah, this is
devalued the
crazy.
pen game. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all cats, I'll be honest with you. Y'all watching this, a lot of y'all need to learn to write, bro. Learn, read books, bro.
Definitely, definitely.
Learn to
Yo,
write.
come up
Everybody
with
can't
a
do that one
line or
shit.
two in your head, man. Put it on paper. It's good to look at your words, man. I like looking at my words. And it's easier to perform when you know your shit. When you writing your shit, it's easier to memorize. You know what I'm saying? You see your words, you visualize what you're saying. When you look at your words on the paper, you know you ain't saying no dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Why did I write that? Let me erase this shit. Like this some whack shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta self edit sometimes, and that's something we'll write and do. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. Yeah, you know, man, I used to MC. I used to rap a little bit back in the day, bro, and that's kind of what it was. If you're in a room full of cats and it's like three people on the song or the verse, what you do before you can get in the booth, you spit your verse to each other, right? And there be
Exactly.
times where you've been in the room with a cat and be like, "Man, you rewrite your whole shit." Like, "Oh hell, nah, you ain't finna show me up a bit." So,
Right. And I ain't gonna lie, like shout out to Big Dubes from the Sporty Thieves. Like he was one of the first studios that I used to go to. He had a studio and he showed me how to hold the paper up when I'm rapping on a mic. Like and I ain't never really had to memorize my shit after that. Like I just wrote after that because I knew how to read my shit. So shout out to him. That's an underrated thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you write and how you hold your shit up on the mic, like, get your projections out correctly.
hmm big facts, bro. Um, Shit, I'm gonna go off the rails a little bit. Sports talk, bro. We know the we know the game on today. I want to know who you got winning, who you got going to the Super Bowl. You feel
I
me?
ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. Like I had Josh Allen on my fantasy team all year, and he was cooking. So I'm not gonna abandon him now. Like you feel me? I'm picking him to go all the way.
Oh
I'm a
shit.
Giants fan. I hate Philly. I can't stand Saquon. I can't stand Jalen Green. Can't stand the Commanders. I'm sick of the Chiefs. I'm going with the hometown. Even though it's Western New York, it's still New York. I'm running with Buffalo.
Facts. I actually picked Buffalo. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm a Bears fan. I got no dog in this fight. We
Right.
sucked since the year I was born. But I think I'm gonna roll with Buffalo as well, man. I think they're due.
Yeah, it's time.
Finally, you know. So I
Word out.
feel
That's what
you,
I'm
man.
going with.
Now
That's
back
what
to
I'm
the
going with.
music talk real quick, man. What's your goals for the future, man? Where do you see yourself in the next few years? Is there any goals that you want to achieve that you haven't hit already? You feel me?
Well, there's a couple goals I haven't achieved. I got them written down somewhere, but I know a couple of them is my first headliner show. You know what I'm saying? I wanna release way more music than I did ever. I'm trying to put out, at least 5, 6 projects this year.
Dope.
It's a couple platforms that I would have touched that I won't name until I get to them platforms. But and I'm trying to get back on High 97 again. I'm
Yeah,
keeping it light. But all me reaching my goals, I'm working to it, and I know the results is going to be very fruitful as I work towards my goals. So I ain't tripping.
that's what's up, bro. As far as anybody that's gonna be listening to this interview, that's gonna watch this interview, let our audience know, man, how can they support your music? Where could we go? Where could we get your shit from? What's the preferred platform you want us to hit your music up on from? You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. First and foremost, I got everything that you could get from me on 100GrandRoyce.com. You know what I'm saying? You want to book me for anything? It's a link in all my bios. You could book me for anything. You could go directly through me. You feel me? I'm on all your streaming platforms. But yeah, hit that linktree.com/100GrandRoyce and you could tap in with me for anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? I pull up and perform, pull up and fucking smoke L's with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? We could play PlayStation, whatever. Book me, holla at your boy, man. I'm outside.
That's what's up, man. And I appreciate you too, man. Cut out that middleman. Having a dialogue with you, bro. You actually respond back, man. A lot of these cats act real bougie. Want you to go through the Gmail and going through all the platforms, which I respect to a certain extent. But it's cool, man, when you can actually sit down, talk to somebody, especially one of the people who's with the legendary Dane Grease. You feel me? So for you to just come down and sit down and talk to me and actually have that dialogue, bro, I support you. And hope you support the platform as well. Like I said, we trying to do the independent thing. I'm not gonna say a complain about the current state of hip hop. We trying to get the goofies out. I ain't gonna stay on names,
Right,
but
facts.
we try to get them the
You
fuck up out
can
of here.
though.
You
Get them
feel
up
me?
out of there. Get them up out of there. Word. It make
Word.
room for niggas like me.
Exactly, bro. So dope.
I,
Appreciate you sitting down with me, man. I'll
I
let you get to your
appreciate you
game,
having me.
bro. But
Word up, word up. I'll get you
peace.
to it.
All right, bro. You have a
All
good
right,
one.
bro.
Peace.
Peace.